Beautiful St. George's on the island of Grenada, around 500 miles northeast of Venezuela, is the destination for the CONCACAF Under-17 Women's Championship, and the United States stand on the verge of the semi-finals. This is their third and final group game against Costa Rica. Ross Dyer and Kindra de St. Auburn with you. And Kindra, what are we looking for from the US as they appear unstoppable in the group?
Well, they've never lost or tied a group match in any tournament of this age group, so we'll see. Ashley Sanchez, she'll continue to dominate. Let's take a look at the standings.
United States require just 1 point or a win of any kind to top Group B and set up a semi-final against Canada on Friday. Mexico and Costa Rica still in the pot as well. Costa Rica need a victory or to better Mexico's performance against Jamaica later in this match. This is a starting 11, and BJ Snow for the US has made a few changes as he attempts some squad rotation.
Well, a few changes. Laurel Ivory gets to start again in goal. She's been solid back there, hasn't been tested too much. Emily Smith getting the start at the center back position, her first start, her first minutes of the entire tournament. Brianna Pinto, she's been a solid staple in the midfield, keeping possession. Frankie Tagliaferri scored 4 goals in about 17 minutes in their first match. We'll see if she can keep that pace. And how about Ashley Sanchez moving up into that high forward spot?
Speaking of Ashley Sanchez, one of the standout performers of the US team so far, with 3 goals in the opening 2 matches, and she is absolutely unpredictable.
Well, unpredictable not only in her moves with the ball at her feet, but how about the fact that you can slide her on the outside, you can put her in the middle of the field, you can sit her up high. She got the game winner against Mexico just the other day, a nice little one-touch flick over the top late in the game to give the US the win.
This is a side that will attempt to prevent the US from making it 3 wins out of 3. The starting 11 here after their 3-2 win against Jamaica.
Well, and you're going to have to keep an eye on number 10, Gloriana Villalobos. Everything really goes through her. Now she only had 2 goals in the very first match against Mexico. Hasn't scored since that game, but she is a part of all the action that you're going to see on the field. She also has a lot of experience, played with the full women's national team in the World Cup just last summer.
This Costa Rican side not ruling anything out. Which way will it go then? The third and final group game for the US. When we come back, we'll have the first half kickoff for you. The United States facing this Costa Rican side. The third and final group game in St. George's in Grenada. So far, absolutely imperious, as has been their group stage qualification record at the Under-17s ever since the very first tournament in 2008. Never have they not won a group stage game. A point good enough to clinch top spot. Arguably a very interesting draw against Canada in the semi-finals on Friday, awaiting if they can finish top. Ross Dyer and Kindra de St. Auburn with you. United States in their change strip. Kindra showing a few changes from the 1-0 win over Mexico. How important was that win against the Mexicans? They're great rivals, of course, in CONCACAF.
Well, and I think it was obviously huge to get the W, but how about the fact that the created chances? They created a lot of dangerous opportunities. I would think that head coach BJ Snow maybe wants to see a little more of those dangerous opportunities actually finished, but the fact that they were creating them, dominating in the possession once again, that's what he likes to see.
So BJ Snow watches on. The US picking up a first free kick of this contest. Costa Rica not particularly strong on set pieces in the tournament so far. The goalkeeper came a long way, Akira Ruby. And referee Tatiana Montes actually awarding the Costa Ricans a foul.
Well, and it actually looked like the United States player was pushed into the goalkeeper. There was a lot of contact as they were going in. She was shoved into the keeper. Akira Ruby doing a good job coming out, standing her ground. Got the leg up there. But Gurma in on the attack on the dead ball situation.
Hooking that ball clear at the heart of that US defense. Fullback positions rotating again for the US in this game. Absolutely incredibly now, 17 of the 20-girl roster have started a match for BJ Snow. See a couple of the girls making their first appearances in the tournament today. Taryn Torres wearing number 2 shirt in midfield, as well as Emily Smith at the back. There's another free kick awarded for the trip on Sophia Smith. There's the linchpin of the Costa Rican side, number 10, Gloriana Villalobos, as we see the coach, Emilia Valverde, also in charge of the Costa Rican women's team.
And I don't think she's happy with the call there. We'll keep an eye on the situation here. A little bit of a clip there by Villalobos, but the United States had this same referee in their first match against Jamaica, and she did like to blow the whistle quite a bit.
Ball tripped in. This one's easier for Ruby, with no undue pressure on her. But 3 of the 4 goals they conceded against Mexico in the opening game, which they lost 4-2, came from set-piece situations, including the 2 go-ahead goals in the final 10 minutes of that match. Costa Rica not the best tactically in that sense. The US imposing themselves physically on this team right from the off, looking to round out the group with another victory and make top spot absolutely certain. It would take a mathematical miracle for the US not to qualify into the semi-finals. Costa Rica would need to put 5 past them here, considering the US in all of their under-17s tournament history, going all the way back to 2008, this being the 5th tournament they've participated in, they've only conceded 4 goals in regulation time in all of those matches, 22 of them. So to concede 5 in 1 would be asking a great deal of Costa Rica. Here's Kennedy Wesley, going down the right-hand side. She's the birthday girl for the US today, turns 15. Pressure continuing on here as Sophia Smith can dribble and doing it to good effect. Ruby in the way, ball across, looking for Alexa Spanstra, who was making the far post run, didn't quite make it.
Well, what a save by Ruby on that one. Close range, gets her hands up in front of her face. And this is something that Costa Rica struggled with mightily in both of their previous matches, defending in the 18-yard box. You have 5-6 white jerseys in there, but nobody stepping to the ball, able to keep their feet and defend. Well done by Sophia Smith.
She's already set up 2 goals in the opening match against Jamaica, both for that girl there. Frankie Tagliaferri had that incredible impact from the bench, scoring 4 times in just 18 minutes. There goes Wesley again. Fullback Yedri Salas reaching in and actually getting the decision as well. It was a controversial win for Costa Rica in their second game to bounce back from defeat.
Yeah, the Jamaican head coach, Lauren Donaldson, was not happy about the situation there. A red card, he feels, given to the wrong player. They were down to 10 men in the 70th minute. But Costa Rica, they're going to take it.
Another corner delivered, and it was a teasing one from Taryn Torres, making her first appearance at the tournament. Only 3 players on the roster now, not seeing minutes so far in this group stage campaign.
You can see everybody lining up right on the goal line, trying to get in the face of the goalkeeper there, creating some obstruction, but out of bounds, no chance for the United States.
Kindra, we are seeing a slightly changed formation again with Ashley Sanchez rotating her position in the attack. As Costa Rica give up the ball again to Sophia Smith. Don't want to be making a habit of that with her dribbling ability, and she's got around the backside again. It's a simple tap-in. Alexa Spanstra opens the scoring for the US with her first of the tournament. Simple does it for the US, and they are cruising into the semi-finals.
Spanstra in the right place at the right time, getting the start today, makes the most of it. And again, it's Sophia Smith just slicing up the defense of Costa Rica. Nobody goal side. Spanstra does her job, keeps it low, passes it right in the back of the net, and the U.S. up 1-0 early.
Sophia Smith justifying her inclusion yet again in the starting 11, and Spanstra, a lovely moment for her, turned 16 last month. Plays her club soccer, Brighton, Michigan. And really, it's about attacking in numbers, making intelligent runs, and the US showing that they have goal-scoring ability all over this pitch.
Well, and if the Costa Rican defense can't figure out a way to defend on the ball, even a first, second defender, they're going to have their hands full this entire match. That's one thing we saw in the previous 2 games. They dive in quite a bit defensively.
Trying to get a little bit of composure back here with some possession. Gloriana Villalobos, number 10, linking everything as always. Trying to do the right things, but they're just being outpaced and outmaneuvered. Brianna Pinto this time stealing possession, looking for the run. Tagliaferri. There are so many options for BJ Snow in terms of how he puts out his attacking trident behind the front striker. But it seems a system that the US is very comfortable with, whoever the personnel may be. There's Emily Smith, second oldest player on the team behind Tagliaferri. So much experience coming up against a rather inexperienced Costa Rican side. Smith again, laid on that goal for Spanstra. Finding Sanchez. There's no reward. Now Costa Rica with a little bit of space down the left-hand side. Attack quickly coming to an end thanks to Taryn Torres. US have come up against Costa Rica 4 times in under-17s tournaments at CONCACAF level. Victorious on every occasion.
Outscoring Costa Rica 26-1 in those previous 4 games. So again, you know, Costa Rica has a tough task ahead of them, but we've seen in the previous 2 matches, don't count them out. They do not let down.
The only goal that they did score against the US successfully at this level in the CONCACAF tournament came in the final back in 2008. The US won 4-1. One of 2 CONCACAF championships at under-17 level that the US have won and therefore qualified for the World Cup. Costa Rica also qualified for 2 World Cups previously, once as hosts.
You can see Ruby coming off of her line early. She's going to have to do that and be aggressive.
Oh, it's another opportunity, and Sanchez lifts this one over after the run from Spanstra opened the door.
And again, down that left flank, she does a good job sliding it back, having a teammate in the right position. Sanchez should probably bury that one home.
She's had a fantastic season so far at international level. Shot there of Frankie Tagliaferri, but the actual attempt coming from Sanchez. Helped the women's under-20 side claim the CONCACAF crown back in December in Honduras. She was so good, her impact so immense that she made the best 11 of the entire tournament, despite that being 16 years of age. She'll be 17 next week. That kind of experience that the US can call on, absolutely vital in following in the footsteps of the under-20 side.
Well, and these young players, these young women see players like a Mallory Pugh going up and getting called into the full women's national team in the camp right after participating in the U-20 tournament back in December. So they see what's ahead of them and what they're striving for. But head coach BJ Snow told us in a conference call before this tournament, they do have a challenge because they're trying to develop and get those players ready for that next level. But of course, they're trying to win at the same time and qualify for the World Cup.
I found it very interesting, some of the comments from BJ Snow about how the emphasis, of course, is on the tournament, trying to put the team together, but also they don't want to cheat the girls in terms of their development. Not always the same mindset applied, of course, throughout the training camp, throughout the season, in case of identifying players and working out the format of how to play, as opposed to a tournament mentality, which they're very much in the thick of here. And obviously, both environments very important for the development of the players.
I was really surprised too when he was talking about how he feels actually at the U.S. as this age group is behind some of the other countries in the amount that they train, the way that they train. The fact that some of these other countries have their 15 and 16-year-olds playing professionally on a daily basis. He really felt that they're a little bit behind in the development and the way the youth teams are playing here in the U.S.
Twinkle toes herself here. Ashley Sanchez giving Costa Rica the run around inside their own box. Spanstra returning the ball to her, just a little too much weight for him. The goal's very important against Jamaica in the opener. And the US conceded an equaliser straight off the back of a water break in the first half. She then immediately struck back with a wonderful finish into the top corner. Second goal in that game, demonstrating other attributes that she has, running at full tilt, switching feet, And then, arguably an even bigger moment for her, the game winner against Mexico in the last match. A very tight affair, in which the US needed to dig deep and remain focused. Here they already have the lead against Costa Rica, thanks to Alexa Spanstra's finish from Sophia Smith's run. She's at it again here. Managed to get around the back.
Well, Mexico scored in just the first couple minutes against the same Costa Rica side in the first game, but then they bounced back and tied it up late. So you just never know with this Costa Rica side. Maybe they come out a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish, not quite prepared in their warm-up, because they did almost the exact same thing against Mexico, allowing an early goal.
Well, they have earned a free kick here. It was from a free kick that they initially equalised against Mexico. About 25 yards from their number 10. This time, Marilyn Alvarado getting the decision. Emily Smith found guilty of the foul. We'll see what they can do from an attacking standpoint on set pieces, even though defensively they're not that strong at them. Laurel Ivory, number 4 ever presence in this US side. In the goal, awaiting this. Doesn't reach it. Torres' header away. Stephanie Blanco on the centre halves. Not able to get the ball clear in a first-time effort. Ashley Sanchez feeding on the quick thinking of Tagliaferri to put her in.
Well, she took a glance up there at the goal. She must have seen something, because she did take a quick strike where normally she's got that speed and that pace with the ball at her feet. She'll take a couple touches, beat that defender. She must have seen something there on the near post.
No Savannah Kuhlman in the starting 11 today, who, along with Tagliaferri, has played this tournament before. Came in as 14-year-olds 3 years ago. A tournament which ended the semi-finals. Defeat on penalties to Mexico. Both of the US's exits from the CONCACAF Championships coming in the semi-finals on penalties. But they have been so dominant.
When I think of a game like this, and we've seen this in a couple other matches, the U.S. is going to have to try to really focus on being tight. Still play quick, 1-2 touch if you can, movement off the ball. Just because you can take 4, 5, 6 touches doesn't mean you need to every time. Move the ball, play quickly, even if you're given that time and space.
Always tricky, isn't it, the third group game when you're odds on to make it through. In terms of what BJ Snow is really looking for from the team today. They already have their early lead. I'm sure he wants to get more fluidity into the game. Difficult conditions though. This is the earliest that the US have played. They have dealt very well indeed with the climate so far. Temperatures up in the mid-80s. Yedri Salas trying to beat Sophia Smith, who's emerged from 2 challenges from the 2 Salas girls. Look for the run of Sanchez. Now the 13-year-old Maria Paula Salas takes over for Costa Rica. It was her winner against Jamaica, which has still given Costa Rica a chance of making it into the semi-finals. All they have to do is better Mexico's results today. But unfortunately for them, Mexico coming up against Jamaica, whom they're favourites to beat.
And Jamaica may be playing even more inspired after the way they did lose that game to Costa Rica just the other day with the red card and allowing a couple late goals, giving up the lead.
Dogged defending. It's Kate Wiesner who's recovered possession, found the goal scorer Spanstra. That's really well played. Emma Viquez, girl who's based in the US, plays her football with FC Dallas, in fact a teammate of Taryn Torres on the US team. She really stuck to her guns there.
Well, Spanstra doing a good job already early here, getting to the end line and serving that ball across. Trying to find that space, doing a good job with Wiesner on that left side, alternating runs forward.
Sanchez to take. She'll get another go at it. Ball just deflecting off Fabiola Lobo.
dealing with the climate, but also the short recovery time. I mean, they're essentially playing every other day. So the third game in just a handful of days.
After this one, they will get a little break. It's a Friday. It's a very crowded 6-yard area. In the end, the ball doesn't trouble it.
2 corner kicks now from opposite sides of the field that we've seen go out behind the net. You can see the United States working on something here. They're piling everybody into the box, inside the 6-yard box, almost right on top of the goalkeeper, trying to hit right on that goal line.
Emilia Valverde, just 29 years of age and guiding the full senior Costa Rican national team to their first ever World Cup appearance back in the summer in Canada. Came third in their group behind Brazil and South Korea. Did manage a couple of draws in that tournament against Spain and South Korea before losing to Brazil. She's in charge of getting this Costa Rican youth program back up and running. Didn't compete in this tournament in the last 2 editions. No foul there. Ball given away by Smith in the end. Now Villalobos and the US circling around her. Not surprisingly.
You could see the second she turned her back and started to go towards her own goal. She had 2 or 3 red jerseys there just swarming. They know every time Villalobos touches the ball, they're going to have to get on it quickly. Continue to force her backwards. She's committed a foul there at the end.
She played for her coach, or at least she was on the team at the Women's World Cup, the youngest player in the entire tournament, just 15 at the time. She didn't see any action though. And here she's already scored 2 goals for Costa Rica in the tournament. Ball launched forward. Well defended, taking no chances whatsoever with WSWNT. Costa Rica enjoying a little bit of possession here. Trying to pressure the US to giving some fouls away. Spanstra strong in the challenge, finding the outlet for the US to play their way out of their own half. It's Wesley again. Now for Smith. 2 15-year-olds combining.
You can see Sophia Smith, another one of those players that the second she gets the ball, she has one thing in mind. She wants to take somebody on. She wants to get to the end line. But I could see Tagliaferri there, standing there, waiting, showing. And every once in a while, if you're Sophia Smith, you got to switch it up. Do a give and go, get to the end line, keep your defender off balance.
Sanchez trying to find Tagliaferri to do just that. She did reach the ball and keep it in. Now Smith, looking for movement from her teammates. Torres available. Away from Sanabria. Costa Rica managing to cope with the pressure at the moment. So many bodies back. Everyone behind the ball. From Alvarado there. He's close to it. Interesting challenge for the US, trying to find the holes in a very compact defence. Good vision that from Smith. Pick out Torres, and likewise, Spanstra is onside. She was looking for someone to take the gamble. It's been cleared and hammered back in by WSWNT. Not so very far away.
She was able to keep that ball pretty low and driven at the pace she was coming onto it, but a terrible clearance by the defender. She may have been a step offside, Spanstra. It was tough to tell from that angle. She's done a good job getting forward on that left side. Not a great clear there defensively by Costa Rica, and WSWNT tries to make her pay.
The US have racked up half a dozen shots at goal already. One of them nestling nicely in the back of the net from Spanstra. The Costa Rican defence at this point just seemed to want a little too much time.
Well, and it's one of those things that you're just trying to kind of hold your ground and keep the damage to a minimum and hope that at some point you may be able to counterattack or break free, spring somebody forward, They got a penalty called in their favor against Jamaica. That allowed them to get on the board as well. So if you're Costa Rica, you kind of withstand the barrage and see if you can get one the other way.
Midway point of the first half of the United States' final group game against Costa Rica. They lead by a goal to 0. Thanks to Alexis Spanstra. Here's Sophia Smith threading the ball through to Sanchez. Nice layoff for Tagliaferri. Again, just cushioning the ball across the face of goal, and lack of communication between Fabiola Lobo and her goalkeeper, Akira Ruby.
And it looked right there like Sanchez was actually trying to take her first touch, maybe 2-goal herself, a little bit long, and Tagliaferri picked it up.
Taryn Torres, she's seen a lot of the ball so far in her first appearance. Kennedy Wesley again, the birthday girl for Sophia Smith. Just getting the technique wrong with that one. Let's take a look at how the US began this game. Lightning quick with Sophia Smith, Kendra.
Well, we can see she wants that ball on her right foot, but does a good job faking the defenders out, making them think she's going to go that way, serves the ball in, and it's a first-time starter, Alexis Spanstra, putting the U.S. on the board early. Very early.
Clocking in at 6 minutes. Free kick given to the Costa Ricans. United States leading by a goal to 0 at Grenada National Stadium in St George's. Ross Dyer and Kindred D. St Alban with you as we look to progress with the United States into the semi-finals on Friday. So far looking good to clinch top spot. All they require is a draw. They're one up thanks to Alexis Spanstra becoming the 4th different player to have found the back of the net in the group stage so far for the US, with their 101st group stage goal. The 100th being the winner against Mexico, struck by Ashley Sanchez. At the moment, the US looking as if they're trying to add to that tally in this first half. Costa Rica yet to really threaten Laurel Ivory's net. And then a cheap giveaway from the goalkeeper under pressure from Ashley Sanchez, it must be said, but Costa Rica...
Well, maybe just a chance for them to catch their breath for a second here, but Costa Rica under so much pressure defensively, it's tough to try to want to get forward and make those runs forward when you do get the ball because you think it's coming right back at you. They have to find a way to keep a possession here.
Well, there's a chance here for Tagliaferri. Nice interplay with Sanchez in the end.
This is turning into a little bit, when they're in that offensive third so much for the United States, it's like a small-sided game where you're working on your passing in small spaces. You know, you play 3v3, 4v4 in tight spaces and try to get to the goal. That's what the U.S. is doing most of the first half here, trying to find a way to combine. Somebody's going to have to take a couple shots from distance to open that back up, open that 18-yard box up, get some space.
Of course, we talk about progression to the semi-finals. We talk about trying to lift the trophy for the 3rd time. It really is about the pathway to the World Cup to be held in Jordan at the very end of September into October this year. There's girls all wanting to be part of that roster. Of course, we could see Ashley Sanchez being involved in both of the World Cups, under 17 and under 20 level. Whether they will choose to include her in both of those should the US reach the under-17s tournament.
Well, it may depend a little bit on where Mallory Pugh is playing. At the same time, if she's with the full women's team at the Olympics, she's going to have her hands full in the middle of the summer, then will she be available for the 20s?
Long-range shot coming in from Salas. No problem at all for Laurel Ivory. But that will have pleased the coach.
Anything to get forward and try to create something on the attack. You're not going to score if you don't get in that final third of the field.
Well, here is the lady of the moment, Ashley Sanchez, again, giving Lobos an absolute nightmare down that side. And still going. She's beaten two. Can't beat the goalkeeper, but Pinto! It's blocked in front of the keeper this time, I think by Blanco. Costa Rica survived, conceding a second.
Well, the goalkeeper coming up with some big saves then. And then her defender. A couple of them right there. Standing on the line as Ashley Sanchez doing her work, getting to the end line. Doesn't pass the ball back, instead tries to beat the keeper herself near post. 1 save, 2 saves. Somehow they managed to keep the United States off the board.
BJ Snow, you can tell the type of coach who just wants to see progression in the game. Not just about how many they score, of course. He wants to see the team playing better, more as a unit. So he tries to build momentum. What he hopes will be another World Cup appearance. Ashley Sanchez, at the moment, giving Costa Rica the runaround. Is there a second goal in this, though, for the US? Just to squeeze it out. Once again. Deflection on that attempted cross from Wiesner.
Wiesner again getting in on the attack on that left side. Corner kick opportunity for the United States. Let's see if they do what they did the first couple times here. Trying to serve that ball in almost right on the goal line. Stacking up the players. Maybe pulling out a little bit. Yep, pulling out a little bit farther this time, trying something different.
We've seen from Costa Rica a failure to clear the ball convincingly. Let's see what they can do here. It's a header which skims away, but it does get hammered back in. Kennedy Wesley. The half-hour point, and referee, I believe, has called over the water break. She's well within her rights to do. The temperature's soaring, and this will be much needed relief for Costa Rica, even more than the United States, so I'm sure we'll be happy to just take a few notes, get in conversation with their coach BJ Snow.
And again, it serves as a timeout, something that we don't really ever see in soccer unless there is a water break. So this gives the Costa Rican side a chance to regroup, possibly have a conversation, gather her team, figure out what they want to do. You can see BJ Snow doing a little game planning as well, communicating. But these games also played really in the heat of the day. No night games in these group stages with the fields not having lights. So every single game that these teams have played in this tournament so far have been right in that blazing sun. You talked about the 80+ degree temperatures, 70+% humidity every single day with short recovery time.
The referee's absolutely at liberty to make the calls as and when they feel it necessary to get the girls rehydrated. But this referee, Tatiana Montes, called a water break in the first match the US played against Jamaica at this point in the game, and within 2 minutes of that restart, the US actually conceded an equaliser. So I'm sure that might have been part of the just a reminder from the coaching staff to the girls to say remain focused.
Yep, and it was the same score, I believe, at that point, too. And a brief little letdown defensively right after that water break. Defensive lapse by the United States.
It's a short free kick from Ruby, and another opportunity here for Sanchez. Goalkeeper off her line, and for once, Sanchez, pinpoint accuracy, I think just letting her down.
We talk about the referee having the liberty to kind of call the water break, but it is kind of odd that it never seems to fall in the middle of the half. So we're not sure exactly how they come up with the time and decide when they will be calling that water break in the middle of the game, in the middle of the half.
Here goes Sophia Smith again. They're having trouble sticking to her. She's finding Pinto, who's finding some room, and yes, trying to find her range, as you had suggested, Kendra.
When you could see the Costa Rican side, they oftentimes have the first and second defender in the correct position. It's just the fact that they can't stay with the U.S. players once they make a quick move and try to get around. So they got to figure out a way to stay low, don't dive in, keep an eye on the ball. Don't watch the hips of the United States players, because that's where they're going to get fooled every time.
Another one by Naomi Girma. Another of those who've started every game for the US, played every minute thus far. Ball won there by Sabrina Vasquez. Quickly turned over once more. Taryn Torres having a very good game so far. Sanchez finding Spanstra, and the flag goes up against her.
Tough to tell from that camera angle, but it looked like she may have just stayed even with Blanco on the back line there.
BJ Snow was the head coach of the US, and they fell in the semi-finals 3 years ago. This is second cycle with the under-17s. He's brought 2 players with him from that tournament, in Frankie Tagliaferri and Savannah Kuhlman. Got on the score sheet twice against Jamaica. A couple of excellently taken goals, I might add, as well. Certainly Tagliaferri's 4-goal haul was really impressive. There's Maria Paula Salas just involved in getting possession back. Sanabria Villalobos taking over. And they appealed for the foul, and they get it. First real inclusion from the captain.
When she's trying to get involved, but the United States, when you have one main player that you can focus on, you don't have to focus on too many others. It's tough for her to get the ball cleanly. She's trying to find a way to get her teammates involved, play a little through ball there, gets fouled on the way.
She will have an opportunity from here. Whether she'll go for goal. She certainly can hit them.
I would. If I was her, I would go for goal and hope for a rebound, hope for a deflection, hope for something if it doesn't go in the net. Hope your teammates are rushing in, following up.
The referee just asking the US wall, which now numbers 3, to take an extra step or 2 backwards to the perimeter of their penalty area. Smith, Tagliaferri and Sanchez in it. As the golden girl of Costa Rican soccer, Gloriana Villalobos, stands ready to strike. Instead, the overlap from Yedri Salas. And there's an opportunity in there, should be stabbed home. US with a lot of numbers back. In the end, they managed to get the clearance from inside their own box thanks to Pinto, and they've successfully charged it down en masse. Now anticipating a breakaway, led by Spanstra, who's done a good job for a team to clear the danger.
Something very similar to what they did just the other day against Jamaica. I think all eyes were on Villalobos. They thought she was going to take the shot. They played a nice little ball, a through ball, this one down that left side, creating a dangerous opportunity for Costa Rica. I think they had the United States fooled on that one, even though the U.S., I'm sure, watched the tape and saw the game. But you kind of honor Villalobos, thinking she's going to rip that shot, the first effort, and be ready to defend.
It was good invention from Costa Rica. Oh, that's a mistake from Blanco. Not her first, sadly, of the game for her. And the ball to the US in another advanced position. Spanstra. Oh, Tagliaferri took a touch and went over. Is that a penalty? I believe it's been given. Blanco lunging in and getting a yellow card as well to rub salt into the wounds, but Tagliaferri reached it first, and the US have a penalty and a chance to extend their lead.
You can see on that play, she just comes in a little bit late, doesn't get any of the ball, gets Tagliaferri's foot inside the box, penalty kick, yellow card, and the chance for the U.S. to go up 2-0.
Costa Rica, who scored a penalty in their last game. An equaliser against Jamaica. Now, Ashley Sanchez with a chance to make it 4 goals in the tournament for her. Facing Akira Ruby. Not the longest of run-ups from Sanchez. Focused. And finding the corner. Ruby guessed right. Too much on it though, and the US have a deserved 2-0 lead in the first half.
Ruby did guess right, but Sanchez did a great job of putting this one just out of reach. It sounded like she may have even hit the post and gone in. That's how close she put it. No post, just inside netting, well placed by Sanchez.
Quite incredibly then, 16th goal at this level for Ashley Sanchez in this, only her 12th appearance for the under-17s. She's now outscored herself from the under-20s tournament back in December. Sanchez is at it again. What can Costa Rica do in order to survive the final 7 minutes of this half without any further damage?
I think that's going to be the key. Can they get out of this half down just 2-0? It seems like when the United States starts to score goals, they seem to come in bunches. That's what happened against Jamaica in the second half.
Sanchez, who was feeling very much at home at Grenada National Stadium here. It's their 11th of the tournament. 4 of them going to Sanchez, who draws level with Tagliaferri. Her 4-goal haul against the Jamaicans. Keeping up her incredible record of scoring in every single game. Lobos has lost her boot here. She's still going. Trying to play the ball in to Maria Paula Salas.
Well, you know, she was trying to put it back on earlier after she got fouled. Clearly, she didn't do a good job of it. She's still not trying to put it back on. She's still going 1 foot. She had both? No, just one shoe. For a second there, I thought that was another shoe.
She's still going. Hasn't had a chance to get it back on her foot yet. It's a left sock that's just wagging. You don't want to be stepped on, that's for sure.
And look at that. Just uses the outside of her right foot. Knows she doesn't have a shoe on her. Like, not that you can't pass the ball with your sock on your left foot, but not even concerned about putting it back on. Right there. Clearly she didn't get it on good enough earlier when she was fouled and struggling with it.
A very emphatic tying of the shoelace this time. Double knot. Costa Rica without a shot really fired on target of any kind to worry Laurel Ivory. The US completely dominating matters. It's a cut above in terms of level. There goes Emily Smith out of the back. Covering possession nicely. Sanchez. Chip into Wiesner. Again, plenty of options. 4 waiting for delivery. Smith! A free header. Just couldn't generate any power to it.
And Ruby, once again, in the right place at the right time. I think she's saved her Costa Rican side a few times in the match today. Clearly, the U.S. with numbers in the box on this chance. Sophia Smith completely unmarked. Just not able to put that one home. Didn't really put enough on that one.
Kendra, where is it going wrong for Costa Rica? Is it simply that the US are a cut above, or is there something more that they could possibly do here?
I think it's just simply right now that the United States is a cut above. They just have too many good players to match up with a handful of really great players on Costa Rica, specifically Villalobos, right in the middle of the field. I mean, she's trying to get the ball every opportunity she can, but you can't do it yourself when you've got that much time and space. But soccer is a funny game, and I've said this every match. You can possess the ball 90% of the time, and it takes one opportunity for that team to go the other direction like Jamaica did in the match the other day against the United States before they put all those goals in the back of the net. It's so hard to try to keep possession when you win the ball if you're Costa Rica. And if you can't get out and the ball's being shoved right back down your throat again, how do you have the motivation to make those runs forward? And it's 80-some degrees outside. So that one just played out of bounds.
Should be noted that Costa Rica did respond after going 2-0 down against Mexico. bringing the scoreline back to 2-2 with a goal in either half before losing it in the final 10 minutes on 2 set pieces. I suppose, Kendra, when you take a look at what happened to the US with the Jamaican equaliser and how they responded, is that something that BJ Snow will have been worried about, or is he simply going to say to them, well, no, you're the difference makers, just go out there and don't let the defensive slip happen again, don't take your eye off it, but really we are capable, don't panic?
I think he's going to say exactly that. Don't panic, we're capable. It was a defensive slip, but now you've seen what happens when you have that mental lapse, when you have that brief break in your concentration, thinking you can go forward when you should be sitting back, and you lose sight of your defensive responsibilities. I'm sure they looked at it in film, and I'm sure right after it happened, the young women knew exactly the mistake that they made.
Well, the pattern continues to be all US after Ashley Sanchez's successful penalty doubled the advantage. Here's the girl who conceded that penalty, Stephanie Blanco, taking the goal kicks on behalf of her goalkeeper. And a little bit further distance on that one. Torres, though, again superior in the air. Launch it towards Alvarado. She's just not had any joy whatsoever today, the number 9 for Costa Rica so far. It's a strong challenge. Coming in on Spanstra. Delivered by Sanabria. The ball is broken for Wiesner. Smith, again guilty of just going a little too quickly. Offside.
Costa Rica trying to hold a little bit of a line there to keep an offside position, but if you're not all on the same page, that's where you get into trouble. And Sophia Smith trying to sneak in behind.
Referee not happy with the positioning of the free kick for offside. Oh my goodness.
Sure.
She's asking for the ball to be played out of the penalty area.
It's not a goal kick. It's an offside, so she can play the ball pretty much wherever she would play, wherever she would like at this point, but apparently the referee wants her to play it forward out of the box. Maybe she sees something down the field that she's trying to hint at.
Well, we are now.
Everyone was confused on that one.
Oh, there's a chance stealing through here for Pinto. Another challenge goes in. This time it's cleaner. Takes the ball from Yedri Salas back to her goalkeeper, but no pass back, so just got the one additional minute here. I'll get your thoughts on summary of the US's performance in this first half, Kendra.
Well, once again, I think they're dominating in the possession. They're dominating in creating the scoring opportunities, and they're just going to have to find a way to hammer some home. They're doing what they want to do. They're staying healthy. They're getting some other players an opportunity to play some minutes and start, which is what you want to do in this final group game if you already have the advantage.
The US with a 2-goal advantage, their biggest at this stage of any of the group games so far at half-time. Goals from Spanstra and from Sanchez and the penalty kick. And that has given the US a 2-0 advantage at half-time over Costa Rica. They're marching to the semi-finals. We'll be back with first half analysis after this.